Hi everyone, very good morning and welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. My name is Alpa Sharma and this is our weekly editorial analysis. Can you hear and see me clearly, everyone? Good morning everyone. Am I clearly audible and visible? If you could quickly confirm that I'm clearly audible and visible, we shall commence with our session. I have a little sore throat and I have cold as well, but I hope everything should have a decent flow in the session. Hi, Swachita. Good morning. If you could quickly confirm that I'm clearly audible and visible, we shall commence with our session. Yeah, so I think I'm clearly audible and visible. So what are we going to be doing in the session? You guys are going to see me every week for some weeks, and then we shall gradually increase the frequency of the sessions. What are we going to be doing in the sessions? Every time you see me, I'll be bringing one or two articles from various editorials. Now, understand what is going to be the purpose of these articles. I'll be bringing articles from those sources where passages can come from, topics on which passages can be found in the actual examination, and we'll be trying to read that passage thoroughly with various approaches. Today I brought one passage, not from the Aeon, because last week I brought an article from the Aeon. So today I tried to bring an article from a different source. It's from the New York Times. And because New York Times, there are many articles that come out from the New York Times, the Guardian, the Scroll, the Telegraph, Aeon, various book extracts. I'll be bringing many of them. Today we'll be reading one article, and by reading the article one, we'll understand the vocabulary, the contextual one. We'll be working on the tone of the author, the summary of the article, and many inferences, because inference questions are plenty in the examination. So we'll learn how to draw inferences. आज एक important trick we will learn, and that is mind mapping. क्योंकि माइंड मैपिंग एक ऐसा टेक्निक है विच इज वेरी यूजफुल इन योर एबिलिटी टू रिकलेक्ट इंफॉर्मेशन दैट वाज देयर in the passage while you're trying to answer summary based question, inference based question, main idea based questions, direct, indirect, factual questions. So mind mapping is something that's very useful, specifically for MBA entrance examinations. Now, how many of you are comfortable with what mind mapping is? Can you tell me that? How many of you know what is mind mapping? We'll be applying this technique to today's passage. Today's passage is a little lengthy one. I've tried to alter it a little. I've tried to make it a little shorter, but we will still try to understand what exactly is mind mapping and how do you apply mind mapping to these. It's getting really cold. It's getting very difficult for me to take classes from the location I'm in. We'll talk about that later on, but ठीक है, अभी mind mapping की बात करते हैं. So mind mapping बताऊंगी क्या है, कैसे follow करते हैं mind mapping, how you're supposed to read a passage by mind mapping so that you're able to retain information. That's something we're going to be practicing in this session today. But before I show you the first page and before I tell you what mind mapping is, how you can read the passage carefully, we have launched a CAT 2023 comprehensive program. And if you are somebody who wishes to prepare for CAT 2023, that is next year, this is the right time. The earlier you start, the better it is going to be for you. So this is the first page. Now, before you start reading the first page, let's understand what exactly is mind mapping and how you're supposed to apply this concept to reading this article. Mind mapping hota hai when you start reading a passage, every page will tell you something. Okay, let's understand this very carefully, everyone, because this is going to be very helpful for you in passages. Every passage will talk about something. By the end of every passage, you have to send me a comment saying or a chat saying what exactly is this passage talking about in a nutshell. Is this page talking about in a nutshell? With every page, we're going to make an idea in our head. And by linking these ideas, we make a bigger picture. So mind mapping is basically individual pieces of jigsaw puzzle. When you put them together, you have a bigger picture in your head. And this bigger picture will tell you what exactly does the passage talk about by joining individual fragments. These fragments will help you identify the inferences, main idea, contextual vocabulary, factual, indirect questions as well. So I want you to read this whole page for now. And after you've read the page, send me a done. Plus, send me what exactly does this page talk about. Read the page and send me a done, everyone. All the best. Now, if you've read the page, tell me what does the page talk about. The first paragraph plays a very, very important role in your ability to understand the gist of the passage. What does the page talk about? Tell me. Or probably find out a line that you think will summarize the entire page. One line that is an argument put across by the author. क्या बात कर रहा है पेज? क्या बोलना चाह रहा है author through this page? What is it talking about? Okay, so by the end of this page, we've understood that the author is making an important claim that this article is with reference to America, and this article mentions various points, including the Russia-Ukraine war, democracy, and basically the author is trying to make a claim that is democracy in America coming towards an end, or is it actually the beginning of a democratically supreme nation across the entire world? So it's basically an analytical tone here where the author is making a claim that is democracy coming to an end, or is it the beginning of the democracy? Some people may be hysterical, like acting like crazy, or people may be dismissing this idea that no, maybe democracy is not coming towards an end. So he's putting across a point. He's trying to understand the situation of democracy in this country by the end of this year 2022. Let's move to the next page. Let's see if this idea continues to the next page as well. Page number 2, everyone. Here you go. Read the page and send me a done. Let me move the image a little. Yeah, that's, I think, visible to everyone now. Now, my first question. Apocalypse is a word that's many times used in the entire page. Apocalypse means probably something that leads to the end of the world. Okay. Is the entire page, these two pages that we have read, let us ask ourselves a question. Is this page referring to the end of the world or the end of democracy? This apocalypse, is it mentioned with reference to the entire world collapsing or democracy collapsing in America? What do you think does this page talk about? That's my question to you. I'll reiterate the question. क्या ये पेज जो क्योंकि ये अपोकलिप्स वर्ड बहुत बार मेंशन कर रहा है, एंड की बात कर रहा है, ये डेमोक्रेसी के एंड के लिए यूज्ड है या वर्ल्ड के एंड के लिए यूज्ड है? That's how you learn how to infer things. जब आप क्वेश्चंस पूछते हो अपने आप को, why, how, ये चीजें आपको माइंड मैपिंग में हेल्प करेंगी, ये चीजें आपको पैसेज समझने में हेल्प करेंगी. End of democracy, absolutely, Swachita. It doesn't refer to the end of the world. It's an end of democracy. End of liberalism, rise of illiberalism, probably going away from globalization, increasing in violence, COVID, artificial intelligence taking over. Yes, yes, Praj, that's an end of democracy is what the passage talks about. So now we know these two pages talk about America, and probably it's the end of democracy that's coming in. And this has been demarcated by many things, by inflation, energy prices, crypto collapse, contagion. Contagion is एक ऐसी चीज जो contagious होती है, like COVID, spreading from one to the other smoothly in a very fast manner. It's a contagion, the collapse of crypto across the world. So all of these things, retreat from globalization, illiberalism, these are examples, demarcations of how probably democracy is ending in America. That's the claim made by the author. These are two important words which will help us make a mind map in our head after we have read the 2 pages. Let's move to the 3rd page, everyone, very quickly. 3rd page. Read this and send me and make a mind map in your own head. What does this page talk about? I've highlighted a few important lines for you. Now, my next question. The Roe versus Wade case. If you've been somebody who's very regular with newspapers in the last 1 year, this was one case that made headlines across the world. My question is Roe versus Wade used as a premise or as an argument made by the author? In other words, is Roe versus Wade used as an example to hint to something bigger, or is this case exactly what the author is trying to talk about across this page? Is it used merely as an example to hint to something bigger? Is it a premise, or is it the main argument made by the author? Roe versus Wade, the abortion laws, I'm sure आपको पता होगा इसके बारे में. So, is it a premise? Premise क्या होता है? Basic pillars होते हैं जो main argument को support करते हैं. Examples, justifications. Is this statement about Roe versus Wade used as an example, or is it the argument that the author is trying to claim something with? क्योंकि identification of premise and argument भी आपको बहुत help करेगा आपके argument, आपके main idea को समझने के लिए. Nobody? It's a premise. Absolutely. It is, Swachita. देखो premise क्या होता है? ऑथर कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स यूज करता है, कुछ जस्टिफिकेशंस यूज करता है, उन जस्टिफिकेशंस और एग्जाम्पल्स के थ्रू ऑथर आपको कुछ समझाना चाहता है. रो वर्सेस वेड was an example used by the author to make and support the claim about the apocalypse of the democracy. ऑथर ने फर्स्ट 2 पेजेस में क्या क्लेम किया था? that the democracy is probably about to come to an end. This could be a beginning of something better, but it could be the end of democracy as well. If you look at the example of the Roe versus Wade case, it was criticized by many. So probably this is an example of how democracy in America could come to an end. Okay, it's an obscure theory. You see the word that I've highlighted, obscure theory is another criticism used by the author. So probably in the first 2 pages, as the author started with an analysis, he's moving towards criticism. I hope you've understood the difference between a claim made by the author and the premise, that is the supporting arguments used. It is a supporting argument. Okay? So Roe versus Wade acts like a premise here. Let's move to the next page, everyone. अभी तक mind map में हमने क्या बनाया? Authors claim that is democracy collapsing, or is it a new beginning to something? Taking the example of Roe versus Wade, he says probably democracy is coming to an end. Next page, everyone. Let's go to it. Read this and send me a done, and then tell me what does this page talk about. Okay, now in this page, what is the author's opinion? Is the author critical? Be very careful with this, okay? This question, is the author critical or is the author still analytical? You have to answer this. Because when you know the author's stance, when you know the author's opinion, his tone, understanding the passage becomes a cakewalk. Is the author critical here or is he still analyzing things? ऑथर इस पेज में क्या किसी चीज में फॉल्स निकाल रहा है या अभी भी एनालिसिस करने की कोशिश कर रहा है? He uses the word discourse, disorienting. क्या लगता है आपको, ऑथर क्या अभी भी क्रिटिकल है या अभी भी एनालिसिस कर रहा है एक पॉइंट की, एक क्लेम की? ट्रिकी है ये पेज थोड़ा सा. गिव दिस अ ट्राई एवरीवन. Analytical, absolutely. He is not criticizing. वो अभी भी analysis करने की कोशिश कर रहा है. He's still trying to analyze if actually these examples can lead to the end of a democracy, or is it something that you are being overcritical about. He is trying to evaluate people's opinions. He is analytical. Absolutely correct, Raj. Swachita, correct. He is analyzing. So, अभी तक देखो हमने क्या देखा? हमने ये देखा कि author till this page, in the last 4 pages, is trying to analyze if democracy is coming to an end or not. That's a major claim made by the author. He wrote various claims supporting it. He wrote various examples supporting it. He wrote various words to support the claim, but still the analysis goes on. लेट्स कंटिन्यू विद द नेक्स्ट पेज. देखते हैं नेक्स्ट पेज में ऑथर किस तरीके से बात करता है और हम क्या इन्फरेंसेस ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं नेक्स्ट पेज में. ठीक है, हियर यू गो. अच्छा, बट बिफोर आई शो द नेक्स्ट पेज, आवर लास्ट लैप टू Z23 starts 21st December and ends on 1st of January. It's going on daily 7 p.m. on our YouTube channel. Do not miss out on that. If you're sitting for that 2023, watch the series live. It's your last lap. It will make sure that it prepares you amply for this examination. Here you go with the next page. पढ़ो जल्दी से, मुझे बताओ इस पेज में क्या क्लेम है ऑथर का. क्या ये पेज आपको पूरा पढ़ना चाहिए था? Should you have read the entire page? That's the first question. The second question is, again, this entire Russia-Ukraine war, China-Taiwan, China invading Taiwan, is it still related to America? Or now the author is moving towards global war, global peace? Pehla, you should not have read the entire page. It is something that you should have skimmed. When you read a page, you see what's important as a claim made by the author and you see what's supporting parts, like premise. This page is full of explanation, it's premise. It is something that you should not have focused on. But then the next important question comes. This entire saga about Russia, Ukraine, nuclear war, China, Taiwan, all of this, is it hinting towards democracy in America or is it hinting towards global peace and war? अब ग्लोबल पे आ गया ऑथर कि अभी भी ये अमेरिका से ही लिंक कर रहा है इन चीजों को? ये थोड़ा सा आपका ग्लोबल पॉलिटिक्स का नॉलेज हेल्प करेगा आपको ये क्वेश्चन आंसर करने में. Also, when I say आपको global politics help करेगा, remember when we do these classes, editorial analysis every week, we not only focus on understanding the passage better, we also are probably getting questions correct in the examination. We also focus on your ability to get through the interview because such questions can come up in the interview as well. This is a passage that can absolutely help you with your interviews. If you no Swachita, that's a mistake here now. So most of the, in fact, all the questions that you've answered till now were absolutely correct. Here, China, Taiwan, and Putin, Ukraine, Russia, ये सब कुछ ग्लोबल पॉलिटिक्स में अमेरिका से ही रिलेटेड है. आपको पता है नेटो में अमेरिका का क्या रोल था? इफ यू नो दैट, अगर आपको पता है कि रशिया चाइना वॉर में अमेरिका किसका साइड ले रहा था, तो आपको ये समझ में आएगा दैट दिस एंटायर पेज आल्सो is indirectly hinting towards the stance America is taking. America stands against China. America stands against Russia as well because these are, global powers. और सब अपने आप को सुप्रीम दिखाने की फाइट में है. इन अ नटशेल, अगर मैं आपको एक सिंपल वे में ग्लोबल पॉलिटिक्स यहां दिखाऊं तो ये सारी कहानी जो है, दिस इंटायर स्टोरी अबाउट रशिया, यूक्रेन, मेनी पीपल डाइंग देयर, जहां अमेरिका का एक स्टैंड हो सकता था जो नहीं हुआ, बाइडेन का वहां क्या रोल था, दिस ऑल ऑफ दिस इज रिलेटेड टू अमेरिका. सो ये जो ग्लोबल एग्जाम्पल दिए है ना, the author still associates itself with the main claim made in the first two pages. Is it the death of democracy in America? Relating it to examples in global context as well. Understood, Swachita? Okay? And others as well who are watching me live. So, Before I continue with the next page and before I give you more analysis of the article here, there are a few things that I expect out of you. How many of you are targeting 2023 CAT? I'd like to know you because I'll be seeing you more often now on. How many of you are targeting 2023 CAT? I'm assuming most of you because I've never seen you live in my classes, Swachita. You're attending my class for the first time. Praj, you as well. Raj, I think I've seen you a couple of times. Okay? So if you're targeting 2023 CAT, एक बात याद रखना, all of you. If you do not read newspapers, आपके लिए कोई भी passage, specifically something that's on the current affairs, current issues, understanding that would be a big shot. So please be somebody who falls in love with reading newspapers. I'll be bringing articles, important ones from various editorials. That's my job. And you have to come live with me, attend them. But then newspapers na padna is like a crime. Even if you get through your written examination, your ability to get through the interview, it's the worst thing. Written ho gaya, interview nahi hua, clear. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Be somebody who loves reading newspapers, who knows exactly about what's happening around the world. Not necessarily these shots जो apps आपको भेजते हैं. They do not help you a lot. You have to read editorials from newspapers. Okay. Now, what to read? Ah, you messed up your VARC section. कोई बात नहीं. Swachita, if you come regularly, something I can promise you is you are going to ace this section. That is something I can promise you. You can get this as a testimonial from the older students who sat for 22 CAT as well. कोई बात नहीं. क्या करना है आपको? You have to read newspapers regularly. You can start with the Hindu. Okay. For international, you can read the New York Times or the Guardian. You can stick with these three newspapers for now. I'll be mentioning various other sources for e-magazines, journals, articles to you where you can read from eclectically, which will give you articles from a variety of sources so that you're comfortable with a lot of topics, okay? Oh, all right, Praj, but then stick with me. You still have time. That is around the corner, okay? चलिए next page में चलते हैं. अभी तक क्या है? Again, all this is relating not to the global context, but again to the American context. आगे देखते हैं next page. Read the page and send me an and tell me what is the claim made by the author here. Okay, another thing. Do you see with the usage of the word maybe, the author continues with his analytical trend. Also, do you see the author moving a little towards positivity here in the page? Did you notice that? He started with a little skepticism. He went on to analysis and now he's moving towards a little positivity. You see the Russia-Ukraine war? ऐसा लगा था कि वर्ल्ड वॉर हो जाएगा, ऐसा लग रहा था कि आपके पास न्यूक्लियर अटैक्स हो जाएंगे, बट इट्स अ लिटिल पॉजिटिव नाउ. You see a hint of positivity in the author's tone. He is positive that possibly we were underestimating humans against artificial intelligence. That's not the case. Have you noticed the positivity here? Then he comes to climate change. कह रहा है नहीं, अभी भी positivity है. Right? चलो. So if you've noticed the positivity here, next page में चलते हैं. And I think this is the last page. No, this is the second last page. Yeah. चलो, read the page and send me it on, everyone. Oh, wait. Yeah, here you go. Done reading the page. Is there an important claim made by the author here? Or is it still premise? Do you see the author claiming something very important, or does he continue with his claims made in the previous pages? Answer this question, everyone. Is it full of claims or premise? What do you see in the page? 80 आया percentile, Pavan. Acha. Any college? Yes, private ones. Of course, there's a possibility, Pavan. But I'm so difficult, of course. I'm being polite. Individual sectional बताओ मुझे, Pavan. Sectional क्या है? कौन सा attempt था आपका? I'll be able to help you better. First time दिया cat, second time दिया. Sectional बताइए percentile. सरल सर की percentile बताऊं? He surprised me, at least me, this year. चलो, by the time Pawan answers this question, मुझे ये बताओ, ये claim है क्या पेज में? First attempt है, in sectional भी बता दो मुझे percentile, Pawan. First attempt के लिए तो 80 percentile is a very good score actually. I have an assumption you've scored better in quant than in verbal, Pawan. Is that true? This whole page, by the time Pawan answers my question, this whole page is again a reiteration of claims again and again and again. How people perceive things, unka response kya hota hai, fear kya hai, how they respond to it. This whole page is a reiteration again and again and again. Repeat kar raha hai author apne claims. Jahan repetition of claims hota hai, you should have skimmed through the page. Shabash, Pawan. You did tremendously well in quant. But my assumption was correct. अपने VARC में थोड़ा you messed up VARC. तो पवन देखो I don't know देखो 80 थोड़ा सा difficult है प्राइवेट कॉलेजेस में अगर आप जाना चाहते हो there are few private colleges जो आपको दे देंगे they're not going to be excellent of course but then if you still plan to sit for CAT next year please identify आपकी mistakes क्या थी VARC में क्यों आपका score VARC में लो था where you should have improved ऐसी क्या चीज़ because you prepared only for 2 months में VARC is a language and improving language takes time. Okay, so quant is something that you did tremendously well. There was some scope of improvement. Time management nahi ho paya. Yeah, it's a lengthy paper for sure. You have lots and lots and lots to read. So I think taking more mocks and something practicing more passages would have helped you. Nonetheless, but let the bygone be bygone. Abhi AT में there are a few private colleges आपको मिल जाएंगे. Nothing very excellent, of course, but कुछ private colleges आपको मिल जाएंगे. If you're ready to go into those colleges, you can opt for them. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Last page. Now, last page में आप मेरे को एक question answer करेंगे. What is the author's conclusion? बहुत ध्यान से पढ़ना and answer this question. What is the conclusion made by the author here, everyone? Conclusion बताइए जल्दी जल्दी. It's a philosophical ending that the author has given. I hope you've seen that. बताइए जल्दी जल्दी. What is the it's -3 degrees where I am taking classes from. क्या conclusion है author का? लास्ट पैराग्राफ. बच्चे देखिए ध्यान रखना, व्हेन यू रीडिंग अ पैसेज, आपका फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ, आपका लास्ट पैराग्राफ बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है इन योर एबिलिटी टू अंडरस्टैंड द पैसेज. ये बात हमेशा याद रखना. इफ यू स्टक विथ एनी ऑफ द मेन आइडिया डिपेंडेंट क्वेश्चंस like structure, main idea, gist of the passage, conclusion, continuation of the passage, any of such questions, make sure you pay attention to the first and the last paragraph. See, the claim is there in the very last line made by the author. He says, some people are skeptical that the world is going to end. Some people are hopeful that the world is not going to end. It's going to continue. Democracy continue hoga, world continue hoga. But then you have to keep something in your mind, that validation that we are alive, you and I are alive, and we are the ones who can change the course of the future. That is the ultimate thing that will give sense to all of the analysis the author has done across the passage. What is the analysis? Is the world ending or not? Is democracy in America ending or not? And with reference to that, the author says some people may be doubtful, some people may be hopeful. One thing we need to remember is that we are alive and we are the ones who will change the course of the future. Keep that in mind and go on and take your own actions accordingly. Related to climate change, international wars, crime rates, the crypto conundrum, all of these are examples hinting to if all of this might end someday, or all of this might lead to a new beginning. So the closure क्या है? हम alive है, हम decide करेंगे future क्या होगा, हम change कर सकते हैं world को. It ends on a positive note. That's the conclusion made by the author. Did you understand this passage, everyone? Yes, send me a done, everybody, if you've understood this passage. Send me a thumbs up. Now, before I come to the tone of the author and the gist of the passage, we have our exact 2023 All India Open Mock, जिसका window 23rd December को close हो रहा है, which is going to be tomorrow. तो अभी भी 2 दिन है, दे दो ये mock. You still have time. You can check your rank amongst and your percentile amongst thousands of kids who have taken this mock already. Experience that before the actual D-Day. Now that was about the passage. I hope you've understood the passage. I hope you've had an insight on how you're supposed to read a passage. Yes, Vachita, that's really good. Okay, next week मैं आपके लिए एक article लेके आऊंगी Aeon से, but till that time I'm going to share an article in my background from the Aeon which I want you to read in the course of the next week. एक आर्टिकल शेयर कर रही हूँ Aeon का बैकग्राउंड में, उसको पढ़ के आना, ठीक है? और नेक्स्ट वीक में और डिटेल में बाकी आर्टिकल्स डिस्कस करेंगे. शेयरिंग Aeon in my background, everyone. Stick with me. Aeon से एक आर्टिकल बता रही हूँ. I'm sharing the screen. इसको पढ़ना है आपको. Okay? Just a minute. Give me a second. Here it is. Wait. Just a minute. Oh. Here it is. Yeah. Is it visible in the background, everyone? Ma'am, my attempt in IFT 42, if accuracy is 90%. Accuracy 90% है तो chances है. Yes, Pawan. Chances है. ठीक है? Good luck for that. चलिए. I hope it's visible in the background. I want you to read this article, The First Romantics. Please read this article. It's very, very interesting. It's going to help you understand many things in detail. Okay? बहुत interesting है. पढ़ लेना. All right? Here it is. Philosophy. Just a minute. Here you go. Many names are used. History, philosophy, aesthetics, beauty, thinkers, theories पे articles है. ये आपको पढ़ना है. Read the article before you see me in the next class, everyone. Okay? Alright, so winding up the class, everybody. Make sure you read this page. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a very good week. Read a lot. Happy reading, happy learning. Bye, everyone. God bless you.